Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kristen with Monarch Plans, and today I am going to be walking through this new journal. It's called the Inspire Spirit Journal. It's a relatively new company that's based in the UK, and they sent me this journal to take a look through. And honestly, I was just going to post some pictures of it because there's some really great things on the inside. But as I looked through and as I kind of contemplated how I would use this myself, I realized that this is actually a really good tool for people, both men and women. You'll see that it's very neutral on the inside to use to really evaluate their lives. And I know there are goal planners out there and journals and everything like that, but this is a pretty good mix between a couple goal planners or goal journals that may be familiar for most Americans, since this is a UK company. So I wanted to do a little bit of a comparison between some companies that maybe we would be familiar with in the US, and then show you what's in here, especially because as things start opening up with coronavirus and things get back to like normal for some people, I think that there is a really big importance in reevaluating goals in kind of our new reality. People may have lost their jobs or gotten new jobs, or their roles may have changed, or people may be teaching their kids from home, everything like that. The goals in September 2020 I think are way different than the goals were in January 2020. So I think that this is a great way for people to reevaluate those goals and get started essentially the last part of the year going into next year. So what we'll start with is just on the outside. It's just this plain black journal. It has this elastic closure that keeps it closed. It's not a very thick notebook, but it would be very portable. So I would feel very comfortable taking this in my purse if I wanted to take it around. I don't have very many places to go right now, so I'm not going to be taking it around. But it's this like vegan leather cover. It feels so nice. It's very smooth and I really, really like it. But it's just very simple, very plain, very understated. It has this kind of like engraved like logo here. It says Inspire Spirit. So let's get started and look on the inside. As I mentioned, it's very neutral, which I really, really love because so many things like this are marketed only for women. So I really like how the inside looks. So we have this intro page just for your information in case this gets lost. And then you start off with kind of like a promise to yourself. So it's something you'd write your name on and you would sign it. If you want to read this fully, you can feel free to pause the video and take a look. And then you move into kind of the goal setting. So we have the Wheel of Life and it discusses how to do it and what it is. And so you have this wheel here. What I really love is, I think for most people in the US that are part of the planner community would recognize that this Wheel of Life activity is similar to the Compass assessment for maybe the Moxie Life planner, the goal planner. But what I really like about this one is that it has just like blank categories. So I think for some people, there are some categories that might not apply to them. And so I think that gives you a lot of flexibility to really make this your own. And there's some examples down here in the bottom that I really love. So there's like attitude is a really good one. I really, really like that. And then they've also have like relationships, social life, family. A lot of people would lump those three together, but in this, you can break out things as specifically or as generally as you would like. So with this, you just fill out essentially how, like what level you're at, and write down which areas you would like to improve, and those would become your focuses. The next page is this spread that talks about your top 10 goals for the year. So a lot of planners will break it out into like quarters or months or anything like this. I think this gives you a good idea of focuses for your entire year. Of course, things may change, but there are places in this journal where you check in later in the year. So I think that these can change, but you can also make them pretty general, so they will hopefully kind of take you through the entire year. And then on this side, we have these 8 boxes that have different categories. So what I want to learn, what I want to experience, what I want to give, where I want to visit, where I want to, or what I want to start, what I want to finish, what I want to buy, and what I want to have. And so I think these are really interesting. I don't think I've seen this in any other journal or goal planner or anything like that. So I really, really like these categories and how they're broken out alongside your goals for the year. We get into a vision board, so you can cut and paste things, you can draw things, you can write different things, maybe do a mind map, anything like that would be perfect for this empty space for the vision board. And then we get into the main planner part of this. So there's always like a blank page and a quote before the month. And then here is the month. This is an undated planner, which is why I think it is pretty perfect for starting this fall. You can always start it this fall and it will take you into next year. Most planners will like be on the academic side or on the calendar year. So the fact that this is undated is pretty great. There is a monthly goals section. There's an actionable steps to achieve the goals section, positive habits I want to develop, rewards if the goals are achieved, who to meet, call, or email, not to-do list, and then just like a blank spot for ideas, notes, inspiration, everything like that. So I think that this is pretty great. It also starts on Monday, which is awesome. I think most monthly spreads for most planners start on Sunday, go Sunday through Saturday. So I really like that this starts on a Monday. And then you get into your weekly spreads. So they are undated, they're hourly, but the hours are marked. So it goes from 6 a.m. to midnight the next day, 24 hours. This is obviously military time, so if you're not used to that, that would be something that you would probably end up learning by using this planner. You again have your weekly goals on the side, your to-do list, and then a built-in habit tracker, which I think is great. I really like that it has this already in here, and there's space for 6 goals. And then over here, again, you have your ideas, notes, and mind mapping. And like I mentioned, you can see this is very, very neutral. I think men or women could use this. I think it would be great for either. And then there are 5 weeks per month. So let me just quickly flip through here. And then you have a reflection page for the month. So goals achieved, goals not achieved, what to improve, what I've learned, and how satisfied am I with this month. So there's a scale from 0 to 100. So I really like this. You can go through and reflect, and then you get into the next month. So again, empty page with a quote, and then the next month starts. What I'd like to point out really quickly is all of the months are the same. You can see, you go through all of these. You get to a mid-year reflection here. So how satisfied am I with the approach I've taken over the past 6 months? What can I improve during the upcoming 6 months? What is the motivation that drives me forward? And then another wheel of life here. And 3 areas you would like to improve the most. So those could change from the first part of the year, or they could be the same ones you want to focus on, but I really like that you can reassess in the middle of the year. And then you have a blank page. What my thought process is that if you, for example, wanted to kind of revamp your goals, like how you had the goals for the year at the beginning. Let me get back to that page. Goals for the year here. I feel like you could easily incorporate those onto maybe this page here. It's just up to you whether or not you want to revamp those or not, but I think it's always an option to be able to kind of reassess and reset some of those goals. And again, you get back into the months, which are all the same. And when we flip to the end of the planner, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't miss the end. When you get to the end, there is this reflection on the year. So your goals achieved, goals not achieved, what to improve, what I've learned, and how satisfied I am with this year. So I think that that's really helpful. It's similar to the monthly reflection that comes after every single month. So you see that you have your yearly reflection, and then you have your end of year wheel of life. So what has improved in my life over the past year? And then you do your next wheel of life. And so if you buy another one of these journals, I think that you could then transfer this into your new journal and keep going from there. But this is just kind of like an end point saying this is, where I am finishing off my year. After that, you have a bunch of lined pages, which is really, really nice. Just blank lined pages for journaling or writing. You can always put your goals back here. You can write affirmations, mantras, anything like that I think would be perfect for back here. And then you get into a bunch of blank pages as well, just a couple of them, but there's definitely enough for if you wanted to create some extra little spreads or anything like that. There's also this map in the back, which I think is really cool. I've always wanted something like this in a planner, but haven't had a planner that included this. But I think it's great to have color and maybe places you've been, places you want to go. It really plays into that question box, let's see, where it says like, this year I want to visit or experience. So I think it'd be great to mark down like places you would like to go within the year, or places you want to go in general. I think would be really cool here. Obviously this year might not be the best time to travel, so this might be a little bit difficult, but I think that there's just like a lot of different things that you could use this for. If you want to do like a bucket list of things you want to do, places you want to go in certain, you know, things like that. I think that this is a really cool spread that you can really do a lot with. And then what really was interesting to me is I was flipping through this planner at a time when I was reading a book, and the book that I was reading read a lot about manifesting, and it's not something I have been very familiar with previously. So when I was reading this book about manifesting, I was like, that's a very interesting concept, and I think it could apply. And if anything, it would just be like positive affirmations and really bringing positivity into my life. And then I opened this journal and I saw this. So you can read this if you would like, if you want to pause the video, but essentially what it is a check that you write to yourself here, and it's perforated so you can take it out, but you write it to yourself for whatever. So, and then like a dollar amount, or it doesn't even have to be a dollar amount. But here it says that Jim Carrey, and you can again read this if you want to, but Jim Carrey wrote himself a check. In the notation line, he wrote for acting services rendered and dated it for 1995. The check was for $10 million. He placed the check in his wallet and carried it around with him. By 1995, Jim had manifested massive success with various movies. So it's something like that, where just by writing something down and really putting some intention behind it, and you kind of put that in the form of this check to yourself, and then you know, carry it with you, keep it in your planner, whatever you want to do, it kind of puts it out there in the universe that you are willing to accept this. And I found it so crazy that I was reading a book about this and considering it, and then ended up finding that in this planner. I think that there was, I don't know, it was maybe like a sign, something like that, but it was very, very interesting. And this is something that I have never seen in another planner or journal or anything like that. So I thought that this was pretty cool. This is the last thing in the planner. You can just rip out this check. You can carry it with you. The nice thing is there is a pocket here in the back, so you can put it in the pocket if you would want. It's just made out of some like paper, so it might not be the strongest, but it's in the back of your planner, so I don't think it's getting too, you know, manhandled throughout the year. But I just thought that was so interesting when I was kind of thumbing through this journal and really thinking about how I would use this, and I got to this and I was like, what are the chances that I would be reading a book that's like about this and all of a sudden it's here? So anyways, then you have the back cover, you have your elastic here to keep your journal closed, and that is the Inspire Spirit journal. So if you search for Inspire Spirit, I'll have a link below in the description box to the website. The prices are in pounds. So the price is 25 pounds. That equates to about $33 at this point. Shipping, I had it set shipping to Arizona. It estimated about $15. So, you know, you're totaling about like $45-ish to $48. I think that shipping might be different to different places, but you can always check and see maybe if they have specials or sales going on. That would be a really great option if you did want to get it shipped to the United States. But ultimately, I think that this could be a really helpful planner for people, again, as they are kind of reassessing their goals and their focuses going into 2021 and hopefully a little bit more consistent year, hopefully. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. And I think that the thing that kind of struck me is it's a good mix between almost like a passion planner and a Moxie Life planner, for people who are familiar with those. So it's kind of interesting. It has like the Wheel of Life type thing, but also has these spreads that look very similar to a passion planner. They are a little bit different with like goals and to-do lists and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just very interesting. I think it's a pretty good mix, just with some extra stuff kind of thrown in there as well. The other thing I'll mention is that the Inspire Spirit company has a really great community behind it, and it's definitely growing. As I mentioned, they're relatively new, so they have a growing community and a lot of people that have really enjoyed this journal. So if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to leave a comment below, or you can find me on Instagram. I'll be posting pictures of this, and I will be using this over the next few weeks. And then you'll see throughout this week, after this video is posted, I will be posting photos of how I've used this over the past few weeks, so you can see kind of how it is when it's actually being used. So keep a lookout for those posts, and if you have any questions, like I mentioned, you can always find me there on Instagram at monarch_plans. So like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, but ultimately I think this is a really great option for people who are kind of looking for that refresh. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.